Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Unwind. Today on The Unwind, we interview Ayana about her experience as a single mother going through her immigration journey from Trinidad and Tobago to Edmonton, Canada. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click that notification button for more episodes of The Unwind. And if you would like to join us live to get in all of the juicy details, don't forget to also follow me on Kelly's Travels on Instagram to partake in our live taping. This episode of Unwind was sponsored by Row the App. Move through the world without fear.
Hello, hello.
Hi. So for those of you who don't know Ayana, I'm going to give her the stage now. Ayana, introduce yourself, tell everybody what you're about, and yeah, floor is yours.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Diona. I am actually a mompreneur life coach. Recently left Trinidad, my hometown, born and raised, and made the big move to here in Alberta, Canada, with my two daughters, ages 8 and 7. Yeah.
All right, so I have a list of questions here for you, Ayana. And guys, feel free, drop your questions on the comment section as well, and we will get to them, right? So first question I have for you, why did you want to migrate?
So there were a number of things. That's a good place to start, by the way. But there are a number of things why I wanted to migrate. First priority, of course, is my two children. And I'll just give a little small story into it because I know this is the platform for me to go into depth, right? So I actually had a very hectic schedule where I was working before that didn't afford me the opportunity to be around my children as much. So whilst I was gainfully compensated, it didn't really give me the opportunity to be the parent that I know I needed to be for my kids, which is to be present. So I know I needed to make a change. I was unhappy. I was not feeling fulfilled. And so one of the things that really made me started thinking as in migrating was really that it stemmed from, okay, this is the situation I'm in. How do I change it? How do I get the results that I want? Most times we're in situations and we are unhappy with it, but we just complain about it. We don't really do anything to make it better. So that is the number one reason why I chose to move, was so that I could be in a place that I could afford myself the opportunity to be a present parent, one, and two, and to give my children opportunities that I knew would probably not be available to them at the time that they would have needed it back home.
That statement packed with a lot of energy there. It won't be available when they need it. We'll unwrap that a little later on because I think that's really a crucial point there. So you're a single mother. Tell us about that.
Right. So I was married, raised my two children. My children were raised with two parents, and then my husband passed away very suddenly. No complications or anything like that. It was a very rare condition, heart condition. So that was one of the number one things that kind of catapult our entire life, because they've always known two-parent home and doing everything together. So yeah, that's how I became a single parent, basically by default, not as a choice. Yeah, so that also ties into why I need to be more present as a parent. That need, because it is not as though it is an absent parent by choice or anything. It is a parent that really is not there. They really only have one more parent, and they need all of my attention as much as they can get it. So it's fine to run and be busy and to go after everything and, be working long hours, but when it's just you alone, something is going to suffer. And I just chose for it not to be my children's childhood, I just didn't want to wake up one morning and then realize, oh my God, my kids are grown up and I do not know who they are. That is one of my biggest fears in life, to raise children and don't know who they are, because I was too busy making a life that I forgot to live.
That's really, really interesting. That is really, really interesting. Like a lot of single parents are single, but like more shared responsibility. So you can like drop them
Yes.
by daddy on a weekend, right? But in your case,
Yeah.
you can't do that. It's
I
you, and
can't.
I'm sure you would
Yeah.
have had a supportive family back in Trinidad, because most families are close-knit. So tell us about like
Yeah.
your family structure back in Trinidad.
So one of the things, I just have to big up South people because, you know, I'm from South. And South is very heavy on family values and things like that. I do come from a big family, not huge, but maybe because the love is so strong and the support, it feels very huge. So I do have a support system in terms of like my mom, my sisters, my brother, my nieces, who I love so dearly. They've all been with us and rode with us throughout this whole journey of us changing from what we knew life to be to what it is. Family is really the cornerstone of everything. So in terms of support system back home, I did have family members who would chip in, like if I'm not able to pick up after school, drop off for school, you know, be there with them. Okay, they have cousins, but I'll tell you this, absolutely nothing could ever replace a mother and a father's love. No auntie, no tanty, no granny. They all have their value, but what is true and core to what they truly do need is that parent love being there.
All right. So you left that. You left your safety zone. You left your family. Like, who does that? Tell me, who does that?
A crazy person.
All right. So the next question I have for you, how did we meet? So how did we come across one another?
Okay, so I did a lot of research when I made a decision that this is what I wanted to do. I was doing so much research, but I was missing one piece of the puzzle, and that piece was if I could just see one person like me who did it, I'm going to do that. When I say like me, I needed to see somebody who born and raised, bred in Trinidad, know about the carnival, live here, you went through the whole Trinity experience, not know you was here for a few years or your mother from here, or yeah, you really grow, build yourself here into adulthood and then made that move. I just needed to see one person. And that was how I kept searching and I found you on YouTube. And I was just like, aha. And I messaged and, you know, I always say I messaged but not expecting to get a reply. It's so strange, you know, like that's what I really wanted. I keep putting in the universe, I need to see one person, I need to see one person. But when I did see it, it's like, okay, I'll message, but I don't think I'll get a response. And you responded like with immediate effect. We had little discussions, but
January of this year, you decided to reach out to me because you saw me on YouTube. And I was talking about like the Trinity experience, the Caribbean experience in Canada. And then you decided to do that, right? How did you decide where you wanted to go? That's the next question. And I see somebody saying, why Calgary? So she lives in Edmonton now, guys.
So what happened, because like I said, guys, I was doing so much research. I started researching. So there was one thing I knew for sure when I decided I was coming to Canada. I did not want to live in Ontario. Listen, out the gate, I was like, I'm definitely not living there. I don't want to go there. For many reasons, just because I feel like Ontario is the New York of Canada. That's where everybody just run to, flock to. And listen, as much as I would love to have Trinis in and around me, I don't want to feel like I'm in Trinidad, away from Trinidad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you want to experience new cultures, new experiences,
right.
new.
I wanted new experiences. I really just needed a clean slate, a different type of life that I'm not accustomed to. It really was just going into new territory. So when I was researching, I started looking at which provinces would appeal to me, and there were some particular things that I looked for. One of them being job opportunities based on the experience that I had. Like, what would it be like to get a job there? How much jobs pay? The cost of living? How, like, you know, how well do they pay as opposed to how much it is for groceries? How much it is to rent? Childcare. Then I was looking at things as how soon or how long would it take me to be able to afford buying my own home? Is it something, you know? So there were many. As a single parent, I looked very deep down because I really just needed to make sure that I could make it If you understand where I'm coming from, because it's really all cards, all hands on deck for me. It's all on me.
Big question. Well, I guess everybody should know here that I'm very biased. I love Alberta, right? I'm biased. So if you ask me, albertasibomb.com, right?
I'm right there with her.
It's all about your lifestyle as well, because for some people, Ontario is the place to be. For some people, you know, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, right? So it's really according to what opportunities are available. Some provinces,
what they're looking for.
And some provinces are easier to get into during immigration than others. So it's really, you know, it's all according to lifestyle. But I think I'm really biased. I'm putting that out there. So the big question, ma'am, the big question. What stream of immigration did you come through? Like, how you end up here? Tell me now, please.
The big secret. So I'm actually here as a student. I chose the student route to come up here for a number of reasons. And we can get into it if you're ready for me to get into it now.
Yeah, why did you come as a student?
So when I was doing the research as well too, I saw that I also would have qualified for the express entry route. At the time when I started this process, I was still studying and doing my master's. Now I knew I could have still gotten into the express entry. I qualified for it, but I was going through a change as a person, growing as an individual. The pandemic is very responsible for that where I am concerned. Just because it allowed me the time to stop, soak things in. And so I didn't want to spend no longer living the way that I was living. I was unhappy. So, and when I say unhappy, in terms of like my children. So I knew the express entry would have taken time, because when I had done research and I was paying attention to Canada's immigration news, they had put a hold on allowing those through the express entry to enter Canada at the time during the heavy part of the pandemic. So the only people that were allowed to enter Canada at a point in time when the borders were closed were only students.
Okay. So within that time when you were making a decision, like that was the only
when I was making at that time,
right.
At that time. And I knew, so I made a decision to go with the student because it was the fastest way to get me here. One, and two, also because I really wanted to go through a career change. I really wanted now that if you are really going to make this move, Diona, be sure that when you make this move that you do what you love.
Right. So what are you studying now?
So actually studying marketing, a business diploma, two-year diploma in marketing. But the intention is not, so yeah, girl, I'm positive Patsy. I just jump out, I say I'm doing it, I go and get through. This is for me. Nobody holding me back, right? Positive Patsy, cross her T's, dot her I's, do her application herself, submit it. When I submit it, June month, I see the notification in my email. It's like, oh my God, my heart beating off my chest. Denied. I was denied. And the immigration said, girl, no.
Damn.
And my response was just like, but what the hell's wrong with them? Why don't deny me? You know, but it wasn't like a hard and fast no. It was just like, you didn't cover this one corner. That's how I view it. It was just like, you didn't cover this one corner. And shortly, I was like, after that was what, 3 days or something like that? 3 days
you reapplied.
I reapplied, covered the corner, and what, 7 days later,
you're approved.
They replied, I was just like, all right, come, you on your turn, come.
But you know, okay, we laughing at it now, and I mean, you really took it like a pro, though. You really took it like a pro. So I deal with a lot of immigrants, so I know that the process is not sometimes as clean cut as people make it sound. But in that moment when they get denied, a lot of people would have given up. A lot of people would have been like, well,
I actually know people who would have gone through the process and gave up when they were denied. I think the big thing for me is my why. Your why for immigrating. Like my why was my children. Like I was checked out of that. Like Kelly, you know, I was checked out. I was like, I am not going to continue living like this. Right? If I had to apply 20 times, then people in Canada is taking me. You know, I tell you. Because I had made up my mind that this was not it. I was moving full steam ahead. This was the new way, the new direction. And I just wasn't going to take no for an answer. Yeah. I wasn't going to take no for an answer, you know. But I have to say, you do feel a sense of, you know, the waiting is really like, your nerves is be like, oh my God, it is waiting. And that moment of opening the documents to see the email, to see if yes, you receive or not, really, if your heart not good, don't do it, guys.
So yes, somebody asked if they told you why. So yes, they do give you an explanation as to why. So it's up to you then if you want to address it and go again. If you just want to take your no and sit still. Asking if when you reapplied, if it costs you money.
Yeah. You gotta pay the money again. You gotta pay the money again.
And you see, like, guys, when I talk about cost, right, there's a cost attached to doing your application for yourself compared to hiring an immigration consultant, right?
Yeah.
The research, all of the research that you did, the risk of getting it denied, there's their costs. There are costs, right? Yeah. So either way, you still have to pay.
It's what you're willing to pay, what cost you're willing to pay. Yeah. So I hired Kelly as my settlement coach. So she was the person who actually helped me find my apartment before I came. So there's a reason for that too. So as a planner myself, I know the two blessings that God gave me, right? In the form of children. One of them is such a good supportive. My older daughter is so supportive, so gung-ho with her mom. But that second one, she is, listen, make my life as easy as possible. So I really did not want to have to look for an apartment when I actually got there, because I know she's not accommodating. She would stress me out. So,
and you don't have childcare, so you'll have to carry them on your appointment.
I don't have childcare. I'll have to drop them some. If I have to do it by myself, and then, you know, because of the anxiety of trying to make a decision quickly, I may have made the wrong decision. So I really wanted to make sure there were two things I needed to have happen before I get there, or for me to know that I was okay. One was to make sure that I could provide a roof over my kids' heads as we got there, so that transition would be smooth, one. And two, to make sure that we always have food. Those are the two main things for me. To make sure that we have somewhere to rest our heads, and that not even just rest our heads, we need a roof over our head. And we have
a place to call. Tell us what went wrong. So this is the part, guys, that I want you all to hear, right? Like, everything is all good. Everything is good. She has a plan. She's a planner. She's hired my services. She has her apartment waiting in Edmonton for her. Groceries done. Everything done. Like, she's already gave her the template for her resume. Her resume is done. She's waiting to land and just start her life. Everything is planned out to the T. She crossed all of her T's, dotted all of her I's. Planned for the unplanned. Tell us what went wrong. Tell us what went wrong.
So, got to Toronto, went through immigration, had to show my documentation to say, well, I was approved, whatever, for them to issue me my study permit. Issue me my study permit, all well and good. Shuttle, take me to the hotel, nice sleep, get up, visit, enjoy myself. After the 3 days, my flight to Edmonton, we got up the morning to leave the hotel. The shuttle was 1 hour and 15 minutes late. Took the shuttle, got to the airport. Listen, I don't mean to song anyhow, but at that moment, I was just like, oh shit, like, you really underestimated Ayana. Like, this is where, I don't know why in my mind, I thought the airport was not going to be that big. I don't know, I can't explain it.
No, Toronto airport is huge.
There were so many people checking in at the same time. You see how we know back home when you check your luggage in at the counter, it wasn't that. You had to check your bags in yourself. So there's a line to do all of that. There is nobody at a counter giving you your boarding pass. You had to do all of that on your own in that kiosk. So this is me, 6 suitcases, 2 children, 2 trolleys, trying to do all of this. Get it done. The bag's not going through the machine because one saying what's overweight, although it fly good to Toronto, it's saying it's overweight, we had to adjust. By the time I was done with that and explained to the lady, listen, my flight is at 9 a.m. Look at the time. She's like, okay, bypass you guys through the line, get through, they check your carry-on, you go in, and we get to the lounge area, sit, and I'm like, guys, we made it. We made it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I realized, but I feel like it's only me here. When I checked, they changed the gate where we were supposed to go. So what was on my boarding pass was not really the gate we had to go to. We had to go to another gate. There was so many gates down. Get there, and guess what? I saw that plane driving off, going without us. So we missed our flight. We missed our flight from Toronto to Edmonton, which was actually a connecting flight. We had to go through Saskatchewan and then to Edmonton. So we missed that flight. Came back out through, spoke to somebody. They was just like, okay, we're scheduling a direct flight now, but I'll be in the evening time. This is after 9 in the morning. I'm in the airport. My next flight is like at what, 6 in the evening. So when we get lemons, we make lemonade.
Right. Yeah, you called me. You called me at that time, like, girl, I'm missing the flight. I'm like, yeah, you check those bags in and go and explore. Go and explore.
So we explored, came back in time. Everything when I was going through, we had our 2 carry-ons. Everything is going good. Sat in the lounge, right lounge. I checked the gate on my car. I checked on the screen. I said, we right. I asked the lady, I said, this is the right place? She said, yes. So my mind is already like the 4 bags that I checked in. I feel they may be delayed because they went to Saskatchewan without me, and then from Saskatchewan to Edmonton. So in my mind, I'm like, probably I'll get those late. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. However, I have the most important thing with me in my carry-on, which are my important documents and so forth. The flight's boarding, upon boarding the flight, they were just like, okay, the flight is extremely full. We need to take a carry-on. My kids are tired. I am tired. I didn't think, hand her in the carry-on bag. Sat on the plane ready. As the plane is about to take off, I go, oh, shit. My carry-on has all my documents in it, including my study permit. Land in Edmonton, happy-go-lucky, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I need to get that bag.
Right.
The bag never came. The bag never came.
So you had 6 bags in total. How many bags were lost?
The 4 that went to Saskatchewan came, so I had those. They were waiting for me in the airport, and one of the carry-ons that were handed in by the gate by the boarding the plane came. So 1 bag went missing, and that was the bag with all my documents. Yeah.
So the 6 bags, 1 bag was lost. The bag that had his study permit.
The key bag.
That had your birth papers.
Everything.
All the important documents. Everything.
All
lost.
the important documents gone. Lost in that suitcase. So here I am, landed newly, finally reached my final place of destination. No immigration papers.
Nothing. So you can't even get a SIN number, which is the first thing for document run.
No, can't do my SIN number, which means I couldn't get a job. Couldn't get a lot of things. Like, you need that SIN number for everything here. I literally was just in mid-air.
You couldn't even get a phone. Like, you couldn't even take out a phone. You had to take like just a normal, like a burner phone, basically.
Yeah, I couldn't get a phone plan. None of it. I couldn't. It was, even when we did get into the apartment to set up the internet for my apartment, I needed a SIN number. So we had no internet. Like, I kid you not, in that moment, in those moments, like, I felt like I disappointed myself because it was all on me. You know, it's the girl, if you can't be any people them country legally right now. Basically, that's how my mind was like, girl, we're doing here. You're not here legally. You need to get this sorted out. Hoping that the airline find the bag. And other things happened after, you know, but it really did mess with me mentally because I felt like, okay, no, this could not be happening. How could everything that I was doing, going so right before, how could it all just fall down at this particular moment, this very key moment, how did it fall apart? I just could not wrap my head around. And then following that, because we spent two nights at the hotel at the airport before I moved into the apartment. Oh, guys. First night, we get there.
Oh, yeah,
Kelly's so nice. Kelly tries to get me calm, I'm trying to, I was like, I'm hoping for the best, maybe the bag will show up, I'm just thinking the best. We get to bed the night, 5 a.m. The fire alarm goes off in the hotel. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I have to wake up these 2 children. We didn't really open our suitcases because there's no reason to. But for some reason, the night before, I just opened that and I pulled out their robes, right? Pulled out the robes, throw on these robes because I'm waking them out of sleep. Hustle them out. I grab up my bag with my passports because I explained that. I done gone through one. I ain't going through no more. I pick up that bag of my passports and I bolt out the room. When I bolt out, everybody else, of course, is exiting, emergency exit down the steps. And those doors crack open. And let me tell you something about Alberta Win. You see, that breeze is summer nothing, eh? Summer nothing. That breeze was so cold and I did not have on a robe. All I had on was my little night volume. And when I'm standing there and I'm saying, this cannot be happening to me. Like, nah, somebody have my voodoo doll. I'm like, what is going on? It cannot be, And I just was like, Lord, what is happening? I just couldn't. Anyhow, fast track, we get into the apartment. Thank God for Kelly's, and I always say that Kelly's, I really do not know, and I think your mother said it. Imagine me going through all of this somewhere and I had absolutely nobody. I really do not know. And so for me, I will always say taking your service brought so much value to me in so many different ways, right? It took me a while to come back. Like, I was biting the next morning. Next morning, I was like, bite, I didn't even want to be here. Because I didn't even have, the plan was get a bank account. You can't even get it at the time. We couldn't get it because I didn't have.
We had a plan. We had a plan, but life had another plan for you. Like, life had something else in store, right?
So it was just crazy. And then I decided for myself, you know what, I'll take a minute for myself. Maybe I need to reassess. Take a minute, step back, soak it all in, remember your why. And so I really needed to just come down. And I came down emotionally, mentally, and how you was going to do things, you have to reassess it. And sent in the application, and I just said, you know what, I trust in God. Here we're going on. You bring me here. You had to figure this out, right? I'm not fighting up with this thing. You had to handle this. And I was able to, how much weeks? Was even a week. A week later.
Was even a week.
Was even a week. It wasn't a deal. My papers were, they reissued new permits for me. So I actually had it in my hand, bought a car, and everything just started falling back into place. Bought a car, got my insurance in my vehicle, easy peasy with my normal. Did an interview, got a job.
You're speeding. Where you going? Come, you're the easy teen. You're the easy teen.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you got this job. How you got it? We were shopping. Let's start there. We were shopping.
So, you see my hair. It's important for me as Black women. We want to make sure when I come in the country, I can do my hair somewhere. Kelly said, girl, I have a place that you could go and check the place. While we were there, person messaged her. She's like, did your friend find what they were looking for? She's like, yeah. I'll ask for my resume, Kelly. So she front herself. I said, here's the resume. And she said the resume, did the interview. I was called for the interview. It was a couple of days later. Did the interview, and I got a job. I really got the job. Now, it's so amazing. Like, I would say this because people keep worrying about jobs and things here. Since I have been here with Kelly and I running around, I think maybe 2 other places while we were there, people were saying, here's a good place to work. You should drop your resume in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it really isn't that difficult. Things
Don't
are
give people
difficult.
false expectations.
True.
It's according to where in Canada you go. I don't know about everywhere.
I could only speak about where I am and my experience. So here,
and it's also according to how willing you are to go and ask people. Like, open your mouth and talk.
Things are only as difficult, or as how you can only have as much hardship as you believe fate to be. And that is the truth. So, and I say that because I would have gone through everything I would have gone through. And I think things had started spiraling. I always say everything is all part of a bigger plan and a bigger mission. So I really started to just relinquish and just allow things to flow the way that it was supposed to. Good, bad, indifferent. They didn't need to see me on the verge of an anxiety attack. All messed up, you know. I really just held it together for them. Not because I was trying to hide anything from them, but I just wanted to make sure that this memory was one that went down in the good books of memories, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I was very particular so because of how things are right now and the pandemic, I'm actually able to go to school online fully, and which is a blessing for me. And I was able to determine what times class will. There's so many options. And this is just particular to my school. This is not all schools. So let me just make sure and put that out there. My school and the program that I am doing, I was able to choose the times. And so that was one. This is a blessing for me, as in not having to physically be in the school. Also, the job that I was looking for was one that would be flexible enough, because as a student, I can't work full hours. I only work part-time hours, which is, I think, 20 hours a week. So I'm not out fully. This was also a reason why I had said I did not want to start to work before the girls started to go to school, because of childcare. So I had said all those things long before. So I will not need childcare so much when I start to work, because when I start to work, they'll be in school. So my hours of work will be during the time that they are in school. I will be available when they get out of school to pick them up from school and bring them home. And I also get to study online, if it's in the night time or sometimes during the day. So that is the plan for now. Nice. When things change out of the pandemic and they say that we have to go back to physically being in school, I will have to readjust some things. At that time, that'll be a new semester, so I'll have to pick my classes differently.
If you didn't want to go up to Canada now, could you have started school in Trinidad? So yeah, a lot of students have started, did their first semester in Trinidad. Because the borders were closed. You couldn't get up here even if you had to school.
Well, I mean, they could have gone still. They were allowing students to come still. They were the only persons allowed, even with the borders closed.
Right.
But what they've done, Canada Immigration has
Trinidad's borders were, it didn't have flights at a point in time.
We could have leave.
Because I was looking for flights. Or probably it's because I couldn't come back home. Okay.
You couldn't come back home, but Stuart and Rouse said, Mr. Rouse and Stuart said, anybody could leave. If you want to leave, you could leave. Coming back is the problem.
Alright, so you could have started school in Trinidad.
I could have started online. They could go to school full time until the end of December of this year, and it will still count as legally going to school full time study. After December, they have not made any changes yet to let us know if we need to go back in person as yet, or we could still study online, because so they allow you to study from home and then come in afterwards, or come in and still be online. It still counts as full time studying. Until December of this year, that is. I know somebody might end up asking, well, if I could have studied online, why I rushed to come still? That is the weather. I wanted to be here during summer for the girls and not make the trend-based.
Did you have to pay for your kids to enroll in school? Someone asked that question.
Oh, no, I sent my kids to a public school. So, no, it's absolutely free. I think all I probably have to pay for is lunch supervision.
Yeah, aftercare if you needed it. Like that, there's some things you have to pay for. And it's not really free. When you get a first paycheck and you see the taxes come out, that's what you're paying for.
Well, I will see. I yet to see, right?
When I see the taxes on your pay slip, it's like, oh, okay. It ain't really free.
It has some reality checks I get in here. Some little things. There's some fine prints and some things here, guys. Oh my God! If I don't check it, you get wrapped up, you get wrapped up.
All right, guys, so that concludes another episode of The Unwind. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with a friend who's thinking about immigration. Don't forget also to go over to Kelly's Travels on Instagram if you'd like to join us live for the next taping of The Unwind.